Hi folks, I'm John Thornton. Now, probably the most common question that we get here at the Pain Cure Clinic is whether a particular pain is a real medical condition or TMS. And it's always tough because, of course, I can't know exactly what's happening in someone's mind or body, and I can't diagnose anyone anyway. I'm not a doctor. And figuring out whether a new pain is TMS or a medical problem can be very tricky. So I wanted to tell you about a recent experience I had with calf pain because I think it illustrates just how challenging this process can be. But first, I wanted to give you a resource. It's our free workshop for diagnosing TMS. The workshop will direct you through 9 specific criteria for diagnosing TMS. You can use it with virtually any symptom, and you can pick it up free at paincureclinic.us, and there's a link below. Okay, so about 3 weeks ago, I woke up with calf pain, and I was trying to figure out if it was a real structural problem or just TMS. Now, I normally do a lot of running, but because of traveling and then I got the flu and then 3 feet of snow here in Colorado, I hadn't been able to run for about a month. But after a month off, I went running, and as usual, it was fine. It felt good, no problem. However, the next morning I woke up with calf pain. I thought maybe the time off from running had caused it. It definitely felt like a real injury. Now, on one hand, I assume everything is TMS. But on the other hand, people do get real injuries, and you have to take that into account. So I decided to rest the calf for a couple of days and see what happened. But there was no improvement, and I started to wonder, how could a short run for a few miles cause an injury? I've been trail running for years without an injury. What's the difference now? The answer was nothing. I concluded that this was stupid and unnecessary, and it had to be TMS. I would go running tomorrow and the pain would most likely go away. I had seen it happen many times before. So the next morning I got about 50 feet and I could feel a snap in my calf and then a surge of pain. I stopped immediately, I turned around, and I limped back home. I Googled the problem and figured out it must be a torn calf muscle. Obviously, I was wrong about TMS. Now I had done real damage. Good job, John. So in an act of contrition, I fully committed 100% to resting my calf for as long as it would take to heal. I consulted with YouTube and WebMD and determined that it must be a torn gastrocnemius muscle. I followed their advice, and I would rest it for 30 days at least. That's the only safe thing to do. However, 2 nights later, I started questioning, how is it possible that a short run could cause an injury? I mean, I've run thousands of miles without injury, and this was just an easy run. So after further deliberation, I said, the heck with it. I'm going to test it again. I'm going running. So the next morning, I'm getting ready to go. I'm just standing in my kitchen, and I feel another snap and then an instant shooting pain in the same calf. I'm thinking, holy crap, I've torn another calf muscle just standing in the kitchen. I must be completely falling apart, and I've definitely got to rethink this whole TMS strategy. This is not working at all. Okay, so I give up. Clearly, I've torn my calf muscle twice now. Clearly, I have real structural damage. I've got to stop this nonsense, do a full retreat, and hope to be healthy again in maybe a few months. I've learned my lesson. The only logical, rational thing to do now is to stop. End of story. But then, a couple of nights later, I remembered something really important. Back in 2014, I was bending down to pick up a branch in my backyard, and I also felt a snap and then huge lower back pain. But that back pain eventually turned out to be TMS, so maybe this was also. So as crazy as it sounds, I decided to try it again the next morning. Now the next morning, my whole left leg was painful and would barely move. But this made no sense and in fact supported the idea that it was TMS. So I decided to challenge the pain one more time. My plan was to just walk or limp slowly for 10 minutes and see what happens. But this third attempt was different. After 10 minutes, my whole leg started to feel better. So I kept going, and 10 minutes turned into a full hour. And by the end of the hour, the pain was completely gone, no pain whatsoever. My leg was completely fine. And since then, the pain has not come back. The problem was completely solved in just about 1 week. So what's the moral for the story? TMS is very tricky, and there's a tendency to think everything is real. And too often people end up back at their doctor's office trying to rule things out. But doctors don't get paid to rule things out, and they'll never diagnose TMS. So getting a doctor's opinion can many times create more confusion. So as a general rule, if there is no crystal clear cause for a new pain, and it's a known TMS condition, then it's probably TMS. Just keep testing it until you're sure. Okay, so let's spend a minute and review what happened to me over the last couple of weeks. Was my initial calf pain TMS? Well, I actually don't know. Maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. What would cause the snap in my calf? Again, I don't know, but it had to be TMS or I would be on crutches right now. What were the emotional stressors that created the calf pain? You know, there's no sense going there until you're sure that you have TMS. I just kept testing my calf until I was sure. I did initially rest my calf, and I think that's never a bad idea. But then I started challenging it until it showed its true colors. In this case, it was definitely TMS because the pain was gone completely in 1 hour. Now, I don't trust doctors, but I don't trust myself either. The mind will play tricks on you every time. So use movement like I did to test the painful area strategically until you know for sure. Even with all the evidence pointing towards a real structural problem, in my case it wasn't, and I'm very thankful for that. Okay, that's it for this video, but before you go, let me know in the comments below if you've had a similar experience with TMS. And don't forget to hit that subscribe button, and also check out that free diagnosing workshop that I talked about. There is a link below. I'll see you next time, and thanks for watching.